I was just on Carnival Firenze out of Long Beach on a 4-night. What did I think of the ship? And more importantly, what did I think of the casino? Did I play enough to earn more free cruises from Carnival? Let's find out. Hey, welcome to the video. If this is the first time visiting my channel, it's all about getting casino comps from the world's biggest cruise lines and spending a lot less bankroll in order to get them. I've got tips and tricks. I walk you through my experiences, showing you the comps that I've earned and the ways that I go about earning those comps by spending less in the casino. If you're just getting started, there's a ton of great videos on my channel that will help show you how you can do this too. I just hit 4,000 subscribers. I am so excited. I never thought I would hit 1,000, never mind 4,000. And I thank each and every one of you who have subscribed to my channel. And I love hearing your stories about how you've used some of my methods in order to cruise for cheap. This video is kind of all about Carnival Firenze and my experience on it, but more importantly, the casino, how I played and how I did in the casino, and what I think is going to happen based off of that play. So the thing about Carnival Firenze, I do a lot of research on every new ship that I go on. So I, of course, did a bunch of watching of YouTube videos on this ship. And the prevailing notion about Firenze and its sister ship Venezia, those are the two ships that came over from Costa, which is one of the lines under the Carnival brand, is that it was not really such a Carnival experience. The ship was weird. Regular Carnival cruisers didn't really like the ship that much. I usually don't put a ton of stock in that because I've heard criticism of a lot of ships that I love, like for instance, Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas, one of my favorites, but people say it's old and small and doesn't have anything. Or even lines like Margaritaville at Sea Islander. There's a lot of criticism for Margaritaville at Sea, and actually, I really love the Margaritaville experience. I've been on Islander twice, can't wait to go on Beachcomber as well. So I didn't put a ton of weight on what people were saying about the ship. I wanted to experience it myself. So in this case though, a lot of the criticisms are quite valid about this ship. So before I get into the criticisms, I don't want to seem like I'm overly critical. So I want to say I had a great time on Firenze. I really appreciate that Carnival gave me this comp. And it's not like I would never sail on Firenze again, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Another thing I need to point out is I just got off of Star of the Seas a couple of weeks before hitting Firenze. So it's kind of unfair to Firenze because Star of the Seas is now my favorite ship. You can see videos on my experience on Star of the Seas, both around the ship and in the casino and how I did. Those are on my channel. I'll link a couple in the description. But there's a reason Star was my favorite ship. I think they took the Oasis class concept and they just made it so much better on Icon class. So going from that beautiful ship to Firenze kind of affects your palate in a sense of what you expect a ship to be. So I'm trying to take that into consideration. So the first thing I want to start out with is Embarkation. This has nothing to do with the ship itself. It has more to do with Carnival. So their terminal at Long Beach is actually really beautiful. So they've got the Queen Mary right out front, and then it's an old aviation museum. It's this really cool dome. So the vibe is awesome in this terminal. I can't fault that at all. But the process itself was not ideal, and I'll explain a little bit to you why. So basically, there are 3 lines you can enter when you enter the terminal. You can enter the VIP line, which takes you straight through. That makes sense. There's the line for being on time for your arrival window, which is in half-hour segments. And then there's the line if you are early or late on arriving for your window. So when I was on time, I'm always on time. So I entered that line, which was really long. There were like 100 people in front of me. Now, along that line is the VIP line. So both the on-time line and the VIP line funnel into, I think it was a group of maybe like 10 stations. So first of all, Carnival shouldn't have this set up at all. Royal Caribbean's got it figured out. You do most of your check-in right on the app and then you just breeze in. It's so easy. You could be on the ship from the moment you hit a Royal Caribbean terminal in like 10 minutes. It's that good. So that's one flaw with it. But the second flaw was, like I said, the on-time arrivals and the VIP arrivals funneled through the same 10 stations, Whereas the people who were either early or late for their appointment had their own dedicated line, and it had less people. I think it had 4 terminals, but the problem was that line was really short. So it was like maybe 10 or 15 people I saw in that line. So people who were early or late got through and got into the terminal way faster than we did, because what would happen was VIPs would come through and they would get priority for the 10 terminals we had, and then they kept streaming in. And so we would have to wait a long time before one would open up for this 100 people to actually get through. So overall, it took me nearly an hour to get on this ship. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's not acceptable. So obviously Carnival could do 2 things. Number one, they can move the entire embarkation process onto the app and do what Royal does and make it fast and seamless. Or at the very least, they could put the VIP line with the late and early arrivals and make them wait, because they're the ones who are late or early, right? You shouldn't be punished for being on time. So having said all that, that's a minor inconvenience. I didn't hold it against the ship because, you know what, they'll probably figure it out, or at least I hope they will. So one of the main concerns I have with Firenze is they have lumped practically all the free food into one area. So you get onto deck 10, that's the Lido deck, and on there you have the Lido Marketplace, which is the buffet. You've got guys, you've got the chicken place, you've got the taco place, and you've got the pizza place. There's 2 on each side of the Lido Marketplace. So when people are hungry, guess where they all go? Right into the middle of the ship on deck 10. That causes long lines, a lot of congestion, especially considering the Lido Marketplace hallways are fairly narrow. So you have a lot of pinch points with people traveling through the marketplace to get to one of the other 2 restaurants on either side. They also have Java Blue Cafe on that deck, so that just further complicates the issue. So I would say, Royal has a good way of putting their free food fare on different decks in different areas, so you never feel like it's overly congested anywhere, and you're never really waiting a long time to eat. So that would be one of my main gripes with Firenze. It just wasn't laid out very well. Other places around the ship, same thing, like just areas not connected well with each other, and walkways that a lot of people have to pass through being fairly narrow. One piece of advice that I would give you is if you can avoid getting a stateroom on deck 10, I absolutely would. Simply because so many people are moving through that deck that people have to walk through hallways as well. So especially the staterooms that are just adjacent to the eating areas, I would definitely avoid them, because you're gonna have traffic going through there all day, and that's gonna be pretty loud. Especially on embarkation day, if you're looking for something to eat when you get on the ship, I highly recommend El Mercado. El Mercado is the sandwich spot. They do a lot of really interesting sandwiches. They do brats and hot dogs. They do toasted sandwiches as well. And they've got a bunch of really good sides. Like they have meatballs, they got chips, they have different salads like coleslaw and potato salad. And people don't really know about it on day one. So if you're looking for a quick bite to eat and you don't want to wait in line, I would just head up one deck to deck 11, right in the middle area, overlooking the pool, you will find El Mercado. I think the ship is gaudy, like almost ugly gaudy. Now, I totally understand. Firenze and Venezia, those ships were built for Costa, for the Italian market. So there's a certain aesthetic that they're going for. More classic, a lot of gold, a lot of paintings. But for me, it just made the ship look instantly dated and honestly kind of ugly. It's just not my vibe. It might be your vibe. So that's kind of something that I could take or leave. I'm not worried too much about, because how the ship looks isn't a huge impactor in the experience of the ship itself. The Wi-Fi doesn't work in the smoking area. This is a little minor thing. If you don't smoke, you're not going to care at all about it. But if you like to hang out in the smoking area on your phone or on your laptop, the Wi-Fi just doesn't work well from that area for some reason. The Wi-Fi around the rest of the ship, really, really solid. The Wi-Fi in my room, no complaints at all. Other areas around the ship, like the Serenity area, which I thought was really nice, is really good as well. Like I said, there's a lot of pinch points around the ship, places where they're funneling you into narrow hallways. I really didn't like that. I didn't think it was well designed in that aspect. And you might be a little bit frustrated by the end of your cruise of just like dealing about getting around people standing in hallways that are main traffic areas, regular cruise stuff. Final thing I'm gonna say that's negative, and I know I've just been piling onto the ship, I feel bad, but the destination elevators are terrible. They're really bad. So I don't know if you know what a destination elevator is, but there are, all the elevators are assigned a letter. You go to a console, you press the floor you want to go onto, and then it will tell you what elevator you should go to in order to get to that floor in an express fashion. What I found is it didn't work very well. You waited a long time for elevators, and then when you got on the elevators, you had to stop at a bunch of floors. Destination elevators are supposed to avoid that, really. And being on Star and their destination elevators, I found they just worked a lot better. So it might just be, the AI it uses, the algorithm or something, just isn't tuned very well on this ship. We've got all of that out of the way. Let's get on to the good. The room was awesome. I really thought it was great. I got upgraded from an interior, which was on my offer. My offer was an interior for 1 or 2 people, along with free drinks when I was in the casino. And my best buddy and travel agent, Jesselyn, managed to get me upgraded to an ocean view for free. She does a lot of this for me. If you want Jesselyn to help you book your cruise comps as well, she doesn't charge. She gets a commission from the cruise line, and just ask in the comments and I'll give you her details. Like I said, the room was awesome. It's all I needed. It was appointed very well. It was well laid out. It was very clean. Everything was very new. The bed was super comfortable. I have zero complaints about the room. I was very happy with it. Future video editing me here. I forgot to talk more about the food. I talked about the struggles about getting around to all the free food on Deck 10. But I will say, the food itself was really good, and you have a lot of options. Like I said, Lido Marketplace, 4 other restaurants, El Mercado. There's lots of places to get some really decent food for free. As a matter of fact, I didn't even dine at the main dining room because I just didn't have to. There was so many options even later into the night. So they did a really good job with the food on this ship. All right, on to the good stuff, the casino. So the casino was awesome. I think the casino was probably the best part of the ship. Lots of wide hallways, a really good-sized non-smoking section, a completely independent non-smoking casino that was quite a bit smaller, but it had tables and games. It was perfect. So if you're a non-smoker, you're gonna be quite happy with that. A lot of really good slots to play, a very wide variety, and they managed to put a lot of slots in this casino without making it feel too jammed in. The walkways around the slots were spacious. You didn't have people bumping into you the entire time like I had with Star. And then the main walkway through the casino, if you're just using it as a point of travel, was also extremely wide. No complaints at all. Now, of course, with Carnival, they very rarely, if ever, have a bar in the casino. So they definitely don't have that on Firenze, but there is a bar just outside the casino. And I will say they had a ton of wait staff working in the casino. I never wanted for a drink. As a matter of fact, I had 3 or 4 waiters competing to bring me drinks. At one point, I think I had 3 unopened coolers on my machine. And I had to tell them, please no more. So no complaints there. I was quite happy with that. All right, so how did I do in the casino? Day 1, embarkation day. I started by putting $200 in the machine. I cashed out $54.74. I lost $145.26. I earned 329 points. I spent 3 hours in the casino, and my return to player was a not great 78%. Now keep in mind, a Carnival point system is $2 cycled through equals 1 point, as opposed to Royal Caribbean, which is $5 cycled through for a point. I usually try to earn 100 points per day on Royal Caribbean, of course, because these are only $2 a point. 250 points a day on Carnival is what I'm going for, so I more than hit that on day 1. Day 2, I put another $100 in. I cashed out with $167.34. I won $12.60 overall. I earned 387 points. I spent 3.5 hours in the casino, and my return to player was 101%. Very nice. So day 3, I put in another $100 in. I cashed out with $50.34. I lost $217. I earned 378 points. I spent 2.75 hours in the casino, and my return to player was 72%. It was not a good day in the casino. I ended up playing some video poker because I was losing so much. Just not a great day in the casino. Day 4, last night, I put another $200 into the slot machines. I cashed out with $200.16. I lost $50.18 overall. I earned 485 points. I spent 3.75 hours in the casino, and my return to player was 95%. Very, very nice. Overall, I put $399.84 in, so just below my budget of $400. I earned 1,519 points, not bad for a fortnight. I spent 13 hours overall in the casino, which is 3 hours and 15 minutes per day. And I ended up with 87% return to player, which is kind of the low end of your expected return to player when you're talking about being on a cruise ship. So it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Overall, I think the numbers are good. The time I spent, the points I earned, I think those are both great for me to continue to get great marketing offers from Carnival, but time will tell. So we did just enter the next block of Carnival offers. So offers go 4 times a year in 3-month segments. You get your offers. Sometimes some new ones will pop up like Aces or Ultra or something like that. But your core offers don't change over that 3-month period. So I'm just entering the new segment of offers based on play before Firenze. So I won't really know if my play has helped or hindered me until the new year, but I'll let you know how my offers are going. So I have an offer that includes interiors and drinks on us in the casino, and that I can reuse 3 times. And then I also have an offer that's ocean view or interior and drinks while in the casino. That is reusable 3 times as well. And then I've got other offers. I've got the Aces offer, which is the adults only. That one's a pretty good offer. It's longer sailings, maybe like 11 to 14 nights, some transatlantics, $800 worth of free play, and then drinks in the casino. That's a really good one, although the sailings are quite limited. And then I've also got my premier offers, which is a casino offer with free interior, drinks in the casino, and then a couple of little gifts and games as you go while you're playing. And then I've got my ultra offer, which is casino rates. So I'd have to pay fair for this one, but it also includes drinks around the casino. It includes, I think, $200 worth of fun play. And then there's a bunch of really cool ultra style games for other ultra gamblers on that sailing. So overall, I'm quite happy with the offers I currently have. And like I said, we'll have to wait until the new year to see how my Firenze play impacts my offers going forward. All right, so coming up next, it is every penny I spent getting on this Carnival Firenze cruise. I like to break down how much these free cruises really cost. It can really add up. So if you want to know when that video comes out, please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell and you'll know when it comes out. And if you found this video valuable, please consider giving me a like and throwing me a comment. Thank you so much for watching.